The Indiana Pacers are officially one win away from the NBA Finals, and I promise we are going to talk about the Indiana Pacers. They deserve to be spoken about. They deserve credit. The performance that Tyrese Haliburton just put on was absolutely magnificent. It is tough to root for a guy when he's going against your team when the prize is the NBA Finals. And though Tyrese Haliburton is a friend of the Numbers on the Board podcast, I've definitely been like on my side as a Knicks fan, but hey man, he did his thing and it was a sight to see. That's one of my favorite versions of Tyrese Haliburton. I just feel like the Pacers are at a different level when he plays with that mentality and that level of aggression. We're going to get to the Pacers. We're going to get to Tyrese Haliburton and that magnificent performance that he had. The first thing I want to do as a Knicks fan is address the Knicks and speak on them just as a fan, right? I'm going to give some of my analyst thoughts, and I'm always give y'all part of that, but I also want to just be a fan for a second and just speak freely. A lot of times we do these recaps and there's different things we can talk about. We could talk about schemes and matchups and numbers and this percentage and that percentage and different things like that. I am a guy that was raised in basketball by my dad. So y'all already calling me Unc as a 30-year-old 90s baby. My pops is even older than me, and that's who taught me the game. The game has always, to me, been very simple. You take what the defense gives you, or what your opponent is giving you. You protect the basketball, and you rebound it. There's a lot of other stuff in between that can make it more complicated than what it got to be, and some of that stuff is necessary in a certain time. But there's always just some base level things, and to watch a team get this far and be this close to that mountaintop. Right? The NBA Finals is the mountaintop. I know we can only talk about the winner. I know that sometimes the only thing that quote unquote matters is who's going to win the NBA Finals. But to be there, we talk about guys that don't win championships. There's a lot of guys that ain't even been on that stage. Think about it. Go do your research. There are some players that we all talk about, man, he ain't got a ring. There are some great players that ain't never been on the stage. And we hear these conversations constantly from former players, great players, Hall of Fame players, young players. We hear it all the time. When people reminisce on their career, they think back. You get this close, and you somehow convince yourself that this will be the standard. We'll be back. Just to figure out, damn, I never got to the conference finals again in my career. So for me as a fan, I'm a deeper fan. I'm not a casual fan. I'm a deeper fan. It's tough to watch shit like this. You turn on a game and you have a team just giving the ball away. 17 turnovers. Josh Hart had 5 of them. And again, I've played the game. I've watched it my entire life. I understand. When players have bad shooting nights, I don't come up here on a recap and throw they back in or go crazy because some guys, that's part of the game, missing shots. Sometimes you wake up and the ball just don't want to go in. I don't get on guys for, missing assignments here and there. It happens. You're allowed to get tired and fatigued and miss an assignment. I all the years I played, Lord knows I've missed my assignments. But on this stage, when you watch some of the plays that the Knicks had, when you watch the turnovers of a guy like Josh Hart, it was very frustrating. When you see Karl Anthony Towns in the fourth quarter grabbing the wrist of Miles Turner for no reason, right in front of the ref, and then making a face like, yes, he called it. You grabbed his wrist, who was a guy in that part of the play was not even a that much of a threat. You grabbing his wrist didn't even really do anything. It was no reason to do it, like Van Gundy said on the broadcast. Blatant foul that is kind of like unbelievable that you even did, because we all watching don't even know the benefit of that. We don't even know what you were trying to accomplish. Sometimes you see a guy getting, trying to chase a guy on the screen, and he's getting screen good, and he might grab his jersey or something like that. You stopped him, you fouled him, you ain't give him a free layup. That wasn't the case. You just grabbed him. I'm watching my team be in a certain realm and try to take shots that could make the lead disappear in one play. It doesn't exist. This is like professional players we're talking about. You're seeing a team down 7, 8 points, and guys are just chucking up threes as if this 1-3 will now give us the lead. And I can't begin to speak on how disappointing and frustrating. I know I can speak for all New York Knicks fans when I say this. Hey, man, how many bad starts are you going to have? And I don't even want to call them bad starts, but I mean, my goodness, every game of this series, are we going to play from behind? All I've asked for since game 1. I ain't going to say all I've asked for because I've asked for some more wins. But one of the main things I've asked for is, man, like, it would be really good to sit down and watch the first quarter of the Knicks versus Pacers game in these playoffs and be able to walk away like, yeah, we got an 8-point lead. It feels like we're always trailing. It's always like 18-11, 29-22, 41-33. It always feels like that. Mikal Bridges hit a 3, and it's like, oh, we down 5 now. Never feels like we have full control, or we have this early swagger. Just feel like everybody is so cool. Everybody is so short, and it's just not enough fight. It's not enough dog. And we talking about an Eastern Conference team. We're talking about New York, which is very similar to the city that I'm from in Chicago, where it's blue collar. You put your yellow hard hat on, and you get to work. That's what you're supposed to embody. And somewhere between all of this shit, this team got too sexy. This team got way too sexy for my liking. I mean, Mikal Bridges, my fucking goodness. Are you shitting me? You took a fadeaway 4-foot shot on a fucking fast break. Are you nuts? Granted, you make hundreds of millions of dollars to play basketball, brother. You went to Villanova. You've done shit that I can't speak to you as a basketball player as far as game. But damn it, I know the game, and that was the softest shit I've seen. And I feel like y'all have heard me speak on this the entire playoffs. Mikal Bridges is allergic to doing this. He would much rather do this shit than to do this. OG Anunoby. Great game, because the fight in him, the effort in him overshadowed some of the things that he did that wasn't, magnificent or glorious, right? He had a left corner 3 that I remember vividly. He shot over 2 guys just panicking. Luckily, the Pacers have a Benedict Mathurin who will come down with a double-digit point lead and just throw another dumbass corner 3-point shot up. Why did he do? I don't know. But again, that goes back to me being who I am at the age that I am. At that point, it's just like, man, I get it. I'm a Knicks fan or whatever. But now I'm just, as a basketball fan, a guy who really has gave my life to basketball, that should be tough to watch when you watch professional players not have IQ and high-level thinking ability in this stage, in these moments. There's no way these guys are taking these shots. You're down 11 taking that shot over 2 people. You're up 11 taking that shot on a fast break transition fall away 3. And then we wonder why we keep having conversations in our country why the youth basketball movement is so poor. Because we have AAU, we have highlight culture, and then when the kids finally do sit down and watch the games, like the playoff games, because these are the games that the kids are going to watch. They're not going to watch the 82 games series. They're going to watch Casanat, right? And then they're going to go YouTube a mixtape, and then they're going to go in the gym and try to mimic that shit. But then when they sit down and do watch these games, the NBA Finals, y'all doing dumbass shit like that. And then the players are going in front of a microphone on somebody's podcast and talk about what's wrong with you. Man, the kids need to be doing this. They're mimicking y'all. Whole nother conversation. Turning the ball over 17 times is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. Tom Thibodeau, I got to give him some credit, I guess. Last game, his back was against the wall. He went deeper into his bench and found some trust. It's fucked up that you're giving and earning trust this late in the season. I was a fan of DeLon Wright's minutes. I don't understand why DeLon Wright didn't play more. DeLon Wright may not be a guy that can do the shit Mikal Bridges is doing, where he's spotted up and taking all of these jump shots and the contested shots and whatnot. But DeLon Wright plays at a certain pace that doesn't allow him to get sped up to do dumb-ass foolishness. He knows where to be defensively, and he finds a way to get his hands on the ball. This is 2 games in a row where I feel like DeLon Wright was able to get a stop and a steal and force them to make a mistake when they were on a run. He did it in game 3. I remember vividly because I was there live. He did it today as well by getting his hands on one of those passes in just the 9 minutes that he played. But he's a plus 11. And I'm not even a big plus minus guy in every single basketball conversation that I have. But I do feel like there's been a positive presence when DeLon Wright is on the floor. Does that mean DeLon Wright should start the next game? Does that mean DeLon Wright should play 25 to 30 minutes? I'm not here to advocate that. But when your back is against the wall, where you have a good thing going, I just don't understand certain thought processes with that. I think DeLon Wright, as a Knicks fan, makes me feel comfortable a little bit when we go into those bench units and he's out there. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. But yeah, I was disgusted with the performance that Josh Hart had. Disgusted with it. 5 turnovers, and they were egregious turnovers, pretty terrible turnovers. And you're going to go on Twitter, you're going to go on these spaces and these different outlets, you're going to go on YouTube and hear somebody else talk about the game. And if they're a Knicks fan, they're probably going to try to talk about some of the calls. Yeah, the calls are crazy, right? That's been the playoff stuff. I've been telling y'all that in the past, I don't know how, and a lot of these different recaps, I've been saying, hey, man, you can't just drive these basketball conversations on the whistle because these refs are not going to be that good. It's what it is. I don't know if we are the only ones that watch regular season basketball in the 82 games because this is our job. But the refs have been inconsistent for a while. They was inconsistent last year in the playoffs. We're just at a point right now where the refereeing, I don't know. I don't know. But because I know that I can't expect that to be consistent and perfect on a game-by-game basis as a coaching staff, as a player, and as a team, I am going to make sure I put myself in position to not leave it in their hands on either side for any team that's still standing in the playoffs and going forward in the future. So, Knicks fans, I'm with you. We're united. The series ain't over, but miss me with free throw conversations and foul conversations. And a lot of y'all don't even understand how to have those nuanced type conversations. You go on Twitter, and I even let somebody know, they say, how you feel about the calls? I say, hey, as a viewer, it's kind of crazy. But as a Knicks fan, I'm not giving the Knicks that excuse. Because if you clean up a lot of the self-inflicted shit we did, these calls will be irrelevant. And you have the dumbasses. It's like, oh, no, man. I'm not even fighting against calls. You never heard me get on a platform and be talking about some fucking calls for my team. I speak on what's real and I speak on what's right. I feel like the Knicks did a lot of things, again, that hurt them more than I can look at a referee. Hey, newsflash Knicks. There's a chance in Game 5 the refs ain't going to make every right call. They might leave some shit on the table. Hey, Pacers, there's a chance the refs ain't going to make every call. They might leave some shit on the table. Hey, NBA, there's a significant chance the refs are going to miss some calls and they're going to leave some shit on the table. My only thing as a fan, regardless if the Knicks are playing or the Knicks are not, and I don't know why a lot of people, it's really just a Twitter thing, why people don't understand. For me as a Knicks fan, my day ain't made or break, or my day ain't make or break off of a Knicks win or loss. I chose to be a Knicks fan. I was here when the lineup was Emmanuel Mudiay and Mario Hezonja and Noah Vonleh. I'm good. I've seen the worst days. I'm going to survive. I'm straight. I can speak as a basketball fan. Consistent whistle is what everybody want at the end of the day. You don't want to see somebody get clotheslined and then they go down here and it's like this and it's all foul. You don't want to see this and then, you know, like, that's all. You don't want to see tough fouls or we letting them play and then the next possession we not letting them play. It's like, We got to pick one or the other. Either we finna be calling everything and it's just going to be what it is and the player's going to have to adjust, or we finna let you play. In some of these early playoff series, we saw a lot of intensity where a lot of teams were able to play. And I'm not even talking about just my team, but I do think that the Pistons versus Knicks series was an extremely physical series where you got a lot of let them play moments. I think the Warriors against the Rockets was a lot of let them play type physicality, and I enjoyed it as a viewer with my team in it and without my team in it. So that's my 2 cents with the Knicks. What do they do going forward? They got to play with some type of sense of urgency. Somebody on this roster has to say that I want to extend this series. I'm not ready to go home yet. This ain't it for us. Rah, 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 rah. Somebody has to do that. Somebody. You know what I mean? You got a guy like Benedict Mathurin coming in, irrelevant as hell in this series. He get on there, he barking and doing all of that. Jalen Brunson saying, hey, just play ball, Ben. Just play ball. Jalen Brunson, I'm with you 1,000% of the way, but fuck that. I need somebody to come off the Knicks bench and have the energy that Benedict Mathurin had. I need somebody to come in that motherfucker and say, hey, are you talking? Say less. That's just the type of time I'm on, and how when you want something so bad, that's just the type of time we on. You know what I mean? But that's how I was raised when it come to basketball from Chicago. A motherfucker play with you, and you got something in front of you that you want badly. Sometimes you gotta knock a motherfucker head off. You heard what Shea said about his own cousin. I love him, but I'm trying to take his fucking head off. Ain't nobody out here trying to really hurt, injure, or fight somebody. But if you got a ball on the floor and you can get it or he can get it, what are you willing to do? And I feel like a lot of Knicks guys are like, and we going against Pacers who are like, if we run into each other for this ball, we running into each other. You gonna have a concussion. We got the guys that are like, I'm gonna go for it, but fuck that. Anyway, the Pacers. Tyrese Haliburton. My goodness, 32, 15, and 12, all fabulous. The pressure that he put on the Knicks as an offensive threat was immaculate. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why on earth Tyrese Haliburton doesn't play like this every game or tries to play like this every game. You know, we had conversation early in the season when Tyrese Haliburton was taking 7-8 shots, and I think he's fine with doing that as well. I just think, again, this team is on a different level when he plays with this type of mentality. He played with a killer instinct where he was willing, ready, and able to hit every shot that was needed. He had 32 points, but these were big 32 points if you watch this game. Don't let the box score fool you if you didn't. He made the big shots. He made the fuck you threes. He made the, what the fuck you gonna do type threes. Those are the ones that rip a motherfucking heart out, especially at home. You got your home crowd behind you. You get to celebrate, pop your shit. And then again, to have 15 assists with 0 turnovers. I mean, where they do that at? Where they do that at? And he ain't a guy that's just out here handing the ball off. He's a guy that's jumping in the air, doing all that, doing all of those type passes. He playing with pace. He ain't slowing it down, making sure he ain't getting a turnover. No, he all that and didn't get a turnover. Pascal Siakam, Mr. Consistent, the most underrated player in the NBA. The most underrated player in the NBA because this is a guy that knows his spots. He knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. I don't even know what his weaknesses are because he don't allow you to see him too much. He gets on his spots. He holds his own there. He can go over either shoulder. He can drive and face up. He gets his money at the free throw line. And then when those shots get out, he's leaking. He is leaking. LA Leakers. Just incredible. What up? Aaron E. Smith, the energy, the ferociousness. He's jumping around everywhere. He's getting in the middle of everything. And that's, again, something that we missing. Why? I don't know. Because this is usually Josh Hart's role. And Josh Hart still gave that to us a little bit today. But it was hard to really get the full presence of it when you had all of the turnovers that he had. Miles Turner, the big corner three that he hit, it always feels like he's there and timely for them. And the bench is just really good for them. They just have a really good bench that, again, is kind of like Pascal Siakam in a sense where they just know exactly what they do, and they do it. And that's just what it is. T.J. McConnell never comes in and try to beat Tyrese Haliburton. He does exactly what he does, takes his little mid-range shots, plays with a nice pace, 94 feet up. And Andrew Nembhard ain't even really killing like he could be. We getting, some not great offensive performances from him, and we can't even take advantage. He 1 of 9, but you're never going to know. Obi Toppin come in, 17 minutes today, 2 or 3 of his shots went in. He hit the big three at the top of the key. Guys are ready. Guys are confident. They have a coach that believes in them. And then they play. They stick to it. So the Knicks have their work cut out for them. 3-1 comeback is not impossible, but it's definitely one of the most difficult feats in sports. Again, the only thing worse is being down 3-0. But luckily for the Knicks, you go back home. You have to protect home court. You wouldn't be in this position if you did that in the first place. But you have to protect home court. Then you would go back to Indiana, a place that you've already proven to yourself in Game 3 that you can win at. And by all means, this wasn't a disgraceful game. The effort level was, but you only lost by 9 here. You were here. There was a world where you could have left this game as a winner as well. So you've proven to yourself that you can play in this environment on the road and have some level of success. And then, if you're able to get that far, you just go back home, Game 7 in the Madison Square Garden. So it's not impossible. It's just that it's heavily favored to the Indiana Pacers, and I'm not disagreeing with anybody that picks them or picked them even before the result of this game, because they're playing like a team that's more hungry. They're playing like a team that's more together. They're playing like a team that's more confident and comfortable. Their coach is playing like he's coaching like a coach that is in more belief of his roster. I mean, my goodness, Tony Bradley is a part of the rotation now. Just that fast, because you found something that worked and you stuck to it. You didn't overthink. You trusted your process and what your team is and what your team is about. And that's what winners do. That's a strong-minded coach that has a strong-minded group and is getting strong results, because weak-minded individuals will give you weak-ass results no matter their height, size, salary, experience, or resume. I don't make the rules. If I did, it would all be obsolete. If I made the rules, the Knicks would be up 3-0 right now, and they'd be 1 game away from the NBA Finals if I made the rules. But weak-minded people, they're going to fold. Weak-minded people are going to get down 7 or 8, and they're going to start chucking up threes because their mind is going to say, I'm so weak that I got to try to get the play back in 1 possession. Weak-minded people are going to foul and look and say, weak-minded people are going to get the ball and they're going to panic and turn it over. Weak-minded people are going to run the same play 4 times in a row and get the same fucking result. Nothing. That's what's going to happen. So until we get a change like that, the Knicks are going to be a good team that has a chance to be a great team, but they have to get over that hump. Me, as a Knicks fan, I'm rocking out with them all the way until the fat lady sing. We still alive, and that's all that matters. Hopefully somebody in that locker room, PJ Tucker, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, somebody can rally the troops, give a speech or something, and we can start seeing some changes. But if not, this will be a 5-game series, and the Knicks will be sitting at home talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda. As always, I appreciate y'all. I'm Pee Wee the Plug. I will see y'all all playoffs. I'm out. Peace.